there's so many people struggling with their identity, young people, that this becomes a form of recruitment, I think, and for many of us, listen, I'll watch a lot of television, even though I don't watch commercials anymore. But, every show seems to have representation. And I could see how people could feel like this lifestyle or these things are being pushed upon us. I'm always going to be a chew up the meat, spit out the bones type of person. Meaning, if it doesn't apply to me, I'm gonna let it fly. If I'm not interested in it, I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm gonna look for the nuggets of information and goodness and joy, and push past that. And if it's offensive to me, I'm not probably gonna watch it, right? So there's a way, but I hear what you're saying. But I'm also thinking about Dr. Black. I grew up, we were just talking off mic, watching Gidget and Jailhouse Rock and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I grew up watching a whole lot of television that I never saw myself in. And somehow was able to, even from the Ten Commandments to, was not the Wizard of Oz. There was never any representation when I was growing up as a little kid, watching TV. Even the Chinese, even the karate movies, there was no black people in it. Maybe later Jim Kelly may show up, and then we had the whole, get Christy Love and stuff. But for the majority of my childhood, there was no representation, but I somehow found joy. One of my favorite books was Pippi Longstocking. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I was a little girl I don't know where her mama was. Her daddy she was by herself. Like, in many ways, I identify with the independence of a little girl being able to, sail the seas and, be out there and have adventures. She didn't look like me, but I found myself in the story. And I feel like, today is all about representation.
Mm-hmm.
Without imagination. And maybe in many ways that allowed me to imagine a world, and I didn't feel left out because I always inserted myself. What do you say about today's to what Frida was trying to say through a bad connection?
I really hate that she didn't get to explain it, right?
Oh, hold on. Alexa's saying it's better. All right, let's see. Free to get to the point, just in case.
Yeah, so that is my point, is that, we did have all those wonderful things. I don't think the kids today have that kind of support, even in their families. And so a lot of things, they're looking for an identity. And sometimes too much of opportunity for them to grow and to learn what they want to do on their own is not just there for them. A lot of things are being pressed on them without them having an opportunity to grow normal like we did in all those wonderful
ways. Did
ways.
We grow normal, though? I don't know that I think you're saying something that's not true, ma'am. I'm sorry, and I think there's something inherently wrong with a generation of young people having to be forced to look at body model ideals that they could never live up to, racial identities that they would never become, and even the two imitations of life that we had to watch,
right.
two of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, we had some really damaging. If you weren't secure, didn't have a household that imbued in you a sense of self, as fortunately I did, you could really grow up not feeling very good about yourself, and maybe taking a knee at Kiowa, trying to get somebody to marry you so that you could be accepted by a whole group of people that will never see you as human. But I'm saying that, thank God. I mean, today, no young person has to grow up differently able, not seeing themselves. There's like a representation of everything from a Doc McStuffins to there's everything. And you think about a Sesame Street coming up to serve a need in an inner city community that never saw itself. Sesame Street was created to give little black kids like me and you, Daniel Black, a vision of themselves through these Muppets and these puppets. You know what I mean? It's a wild thing. I hear what you're saying, Frida. I don't quite agree, or if too much representation is going to turn people, is that, you feeling like all of this is going to turn kids gay or something? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't. I don't think it's going to turn them gay necessarily, but I'm saying it's just another thing that as these kids are trying to grow, that you get a lot of like TikTok and some of these other social medias that are really kind of encouraging it in a way where they don't have the freedom to really understand how to gain their own identity. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. Would you rather that or for them to hate themselves? Because
Definitely.
everything is telling them to hate themselves because they're going to die and go to hell and all. Like, would you rather too much representation and opportunities, or you should die because you're going to go to hell? Because that was
No,
what
none
was
of that.
present before. Like, I feel like I rather err on the side of people being alive and loving themselves, even if it's not, they'll figure it out, maybe, hopefully. Dr. Black, your thoughts on this?
I'm not exactly sure because no, I am sure. What I really think, the bottom line of what I think is we keep trying to figure out how we can thrive in their institution. And it's never going to happen because their institutions were designed for their orientation, for their worldview, for their reality, for their conception of the world. It's like what we could get out of the Black church, we've gotten it. There's got to be a spirituality, right, that allows us to see divinity in Black and that allows us to see people as divine who do not agree with you. But that's not the church. That's not the church. Not most churches, for sure. And so what I'm saying is more and more and more and more, I'm seeing that unless and until we conceive and construct our own institutions, what you're going to teach those principles and those precepts and those ideas that actually teach Black divinity and Black liberation, we're negotiating with the devil.
Mm. Mm. Nobody should be doing that.
Nobody should be doing that.
Dr. Black is here. And thank you, Frida. And I appreciate you holding on and getting the line together.